Giggity, giggity, giggity goo.
Won't get your license back. Yeah. Just one martini, who came up with that? Yeah. Bloodshot, mugshot, you had shots, that's a fact. Yeah. The cops like Justin, who? Aw, snap. Yeah. Should've took a lift.
This is not headline news. Summer officially arrives today. You can tell it's the first day of summer because Target stores just put up their Halloween displays. There was a break-in at the Brady Bunch house on Tuesday. Here's the story.
Here's the story.
No, there's no time for that. The feels-like temperature in New York yesterday was over 100 degrees. Also hitting triple digits in New York yesterday, Justin Timberlake's blood alcohol level. A new study found San Francisco is the worst-run city in the United States. The study was conducted by someone who's never been to Oakland. And today is West Virginia Day. The booms you'll hear later tonight aren't fireworks. They're the festive sound of meth lab explosions. This is not headline news.
Hoo-ah!
Wake up, grab a cup of joe. It's Charlie County Speaks. Ken Lovejoy, and he's the real McCoy. 4 days a week. Yeah, gonna tell you like it is and give it to you straight. Local, state, and national, these issues they can't wait. And it's Charlie County Speaks. Charlotte County Speaks. Charlotte County Speaks. Ooh, yeah. Charlotte County Speaks.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
This is Charlotte County Speaks, your chance to let your voice be heard on local, state, and national issues. And now, broadcasting live from a dumpy little warehouse behind a Taco Bell, the host of Charlotte County Speaks, Ken Lovejoy.
And away we go.
And away we go. News Radio 1580, 100.9 FM, WCCFradio.com. This is Charlotte County Speaks. I'm Ken Lovejoy. That's Mike Imbasciani.
Good morning.
Phone lines are open for you, 941-206-1580, toll free, 888-441-1580. You can email us, the address ccspeaks@live.com. And if you miss a show, find them all, WCCFradio.com. Scroll down to the podcast section. There I am.
There you are.
So, Mike, what's going on, man?
Good morning.
How you doing?
We're good. Things are good. Things are busy. Things are good. So, folks, come see my band, Mike Imbasciani and Blues Rockers.
He's finally got a job,
We
ladies
are
and gentlemen.
working again.
Finally got a job.
No longer a recession. We are in a recovery. I don't know. That was my best Obama.
Yeah. It wasn't very good.
I know.
Neither was he, though. So.
Exactly. So it works out.
Yeah.
That's why it's a tribute. So, folks, come and see my band, Mike Imbasciani and his Blues Rockers, this weekend, tomorrow, Friday, June 21st, over at Leroy's.
Get your
downtown
meatloaf on!
Yeah. It's been a while. You haven't been there because we've been there on Thursdays.
Thursday nights.
School
It's
nights.
a school night.
So,
can't do it.
So
I'm here. I'm here till late
I know.
on Thursday nights. So.
Yes. So, tomorrow, Friday, June 21st, 9 to midnight, Leroy's. Get your meatloaf on.
Yes.
Ken will be there, signing babies.
Signing babies.
And then Sunday.
Hopefully making babies.
And then Sunday, June 23rd, a full 4-hour show over at the Twisted Fork right here in Port Charlotte, 11:30 to 3:30. Nice little Sunday afternoon.
Always a good time at the Twisted Fork. I mean,
Bring
it
a
really
chair.
is.
You can get some food. It's a good time.
Great food.
Yes.
Good atmosphere.
MikeImbasciani.com.
And the way that they've got that stage and everything set, you're always catching a breeze from somewhere.
From somewhere,
you know?
yes.
And there's nice shade with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they have the new stage backdrop, too.
Yeah, I saw
they
that.
They put like those 4 humongous containers, shipping containers. Allegedly, they're working on putting a roof, like a better one above the stage too. So that'll help. So come out, support.
Because they do get a little wet sometimes when it rains.
Yeah. So there's that. But so yeah, come see us. That's Sunday, June 23rd, Twisted Fork, 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. MikeImbasciani.com for the full show schedule, and you can watch the video of today's show at some point on the Freedom Chronicles Rumble page, YouTube channel, and Spotify page. You got to turn the brightness on that thing down. It's very
turn it
bright.
down.
Turn it down just a smidge. See, you see what happens. This is what happens. If you're watching this,
there's not a lot of
you're
money in this production.
No, there is
folks.
not.
Not a lot of money.
It's
How's
the
that?
best
Is that
Amazon
better?
could offer. Yes, that's very good.
And trust me, this thing looked better online than it does in real life.
Yes, it's all right. Anyway, how are you? How are you, Ken?
Thrill a minute in my life.
I
You
guess
know
so.
me.
Oh,
My
I
gosh,
know.
it's always happening in Kenny's world,
Oh,
right?
I know. It's true. Something's always happening.
Mowed the lawn the other day.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
You had to get your new mower, too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was fun.
How's that
Took
working?
it out the box and just it was a breeze.
It's the breeze.
It was a breeze.
Very nice, very nice.
Where are we? June?
June, unfortunately.
What happened to the tack? Here it is.
This is quality radio, folks.
Quality
I have
radio.
things to talk about if you
Well,
want me to talk
what
about
about
them,
the people watching it? They've already tuned out right now.
No, this is why people want to tune in.
DIY with Kenny.
Yes. Are you in a padded room?
Yes.
You can put your calendar up with a thumbtack, too.
But before you do, make sure you take some under-the-tongue tincture, courtesy of Jim Arrington at your CBD store, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. Jim!
Man, if I was that smooth, my business would double overnight.
Right.
I got to take lessons from you guys. Good stuff.
How you doing?
Hey, Ken, I couldn't wait to talk to you. So this is always one of my favorite stories. But, on Tuesday, you and I were talking about the caregivers and how important it is for them to take care of themselves and treat themselves and take time. So the lady heard us. She came in. Good Lord, it was like an hour after we spoke on the phone, on the radio. And she came in. She hurt her shoulder helping her husband. She's helping him in and out of the chair. And he's got a multitude of issues, Parkinson's, among other things. And she said, what you talked about is exactly what I'm doing. So her shoulder was so bad she could barely even lift her arm, and she hadn't really had it checked out or anything. So I told her about the topical pain cream, and, of course, we rubbed some in on her shoulder. I said, let's put some on there now. Just keep it still. She was obviously, like a lot of people are, and I still don't understand it today, nervous about coming in. So she said, all right,
I got to leave now. No.
I got to go.
I got my fix. I'm out.
In the bag with Bob Marley and Grateful Dead posters. There's none of that. So anyway, she said, listen, I'm going to go home. I don't want to leave my husband for any length of time. I'm going to go home. And I said, when it kicks in, I'll let you know. And I said, sweetie, I can deliver it for you this afternoon. So when it kicks in, just call me. I watched her. She cruised out the door, crossed the parking lot, got in her car, saw the brake lights come on. She cranked the car up. And like I've seen hundreds of times, the car didn't move. All of a sudden, the brake lights came off. She shut the car off, cruised back in. Can I get a jar of that? She said it worked. And I tried to tell her, just wait 5 minutes. She's like, no, I'm going to go home. And
you should really put a sign on the wall that says, don't walk back to your car for 5 minutes.
Well, because, a lot of people are conditioned that because most of this pharmaceutical crap you get, it takes 45 minutes to an hour for it to kick in.
Oh, yeah.
So she just assumes I'm going to rub it in, and an hour later she'll notice. But no, it's literally just minutes after you put it on, you're going to feel relief. I use the pain cream. My dad does. Got friends that use it. Jim's got customer after customer using it. The stuff works. There's no THC. You're not going to get high. Go get you some.
Get you some.
Get you some.
So what do you guys got going on this weekend? Anything exciting?
Leroy's.
Oh, yeah.
Leroy's
Tomorrow
Friday.
night. Leroy's Friday night.
Twisted Fork on Sunday.
If you could. Big plate of meatloaf and the blues.
There you go.
What time, Mike? What time on Sunday?
Sundays, 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Twisted Fork.
See, that's in my time zone.
I
There.
know.
That nighttime stuff doesn't work for me, but you got my attention there.
All right. Well, there you go. You should come out.
And folks, you need to go see Jim at your CBD store. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 3. Jim will accommodate outside appointments if necessary. As always, free shipping and delivery. Can't beat it. It's right down there, Kings Highway in the Schoolhouse Square, right between Ollie's and the gym. And if you have any questions at all you have to do is give Jim a call at 941-587-9029. 587-9029, your CBD store, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. And again, go get yourself. Get it.
Oh, Lord. Come on.
You're welcome.
I'm laughing. I can't focus because every time I hear that, I start laughing. It just throws me off.
All right, Jim. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Gentlemen, have a good weekend. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
It's Jim Harrington, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Initiate conversation.
You have some very, very bad habits.
Obese people in my office building are a drain on resources.
It's a kind of dieting boot camp.
I would spend the next 2 hours telling you to drop and give me various numbers.
This is humiliating.
Hey, it's show business, baby. You gotta start somewhere.
We'll be right back with Charlotte County Speaks on News Radio 1580 WCCF.
Canceled. That's right. The Biden administration has officially canceled its $230 million publicity stunt. Yep. The Gaza Pier. Yep. The Gaza Pier, which again, it's kind of a metaphor for overall American incompetence, don't you think? Yep. We're gonna take it apart now, right? Again, it was a publicity stunt by the Obama administration, paid for by you and I. Anyone with half a brain was going to understand that it wasn't going to work out, that there was no infrastructure in place to actually deliver the aid, not to mention the fact that guess what the Mediterranean has from time to time? Big waves. So congratulations, America. We all spent $230 million on a publicity stunt. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com.
On my block, and I see the same old faces, and I hear that same old talk, and I'm searching for the latest thing I break in this routine. I'm talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Main Street. This is home.
News Radio 15, Mean Street. He grew up on the mean streets.
Yes, that's why he wears very tight pants.
Yes. News Radio 1580, 100.9 FM, WCCFradio.com, 923 here on a Thursday morning. Charlotte County Speaks on the air with Van Halen.
Van Halen, yes, and on this day in 1954, Michael Anthony, American bass player who worked with Van Halen and other acts, was born.
The best background vocals in rock.
Nice.
Really.
Now,
I mean,
have you heard of this? He markets a line of hot sauces.
Yeah, he's working with Sammy quite a bit. Yeah.
Named Mad Anthony.
Mad Anthony. I have not tried the Mad Anthony. I would like to try that.
He has a number of custom-made bass guitars, including a Jack Daniels model shaped like a whiskey bottle. So, let me see. I got to see if I can find this Mad Anthony stuff.
I'm going to see him. Just a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, him, Sammy. I think Jason Bonham on drums, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah, up in Tampa. They're going to be covering Van Halen. It's like a Van Halen tribute.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Mad Anthony's Cafe. online stores.
The Red Rocker should be fun.
Yeah, they have Triple X Extra Hot.
Extra hot.
Private Reserve.
Extra
Fiery
hot.
Mustard. Just the regular hot sauce.
Well, I picked Mean Street because, none of these guys grew up on really the mean streets.
No.
And there's an article out on celebrities who tried to fake growing up poor, tried to make it sound like they come from the rough and tumble, but they're actually upper middle class. Victoria Beckham was the one that became pretty publicized because David called her out on it.
Oh, yeah. Awkward.
Yeah, well, in the documentary Beckham, she claimed that she grew up very, very middle class until David Beckham made her admit that her dad used to drive her to school in a Rolls.
Oh, oh yeah.
Very. Well, it was used. Ice Cube. I didn't know this. Not straight out of Compton.
No?
No.
Just popped in.
His parents both had stable jobs at UCLA, and his high school years were split between a prep school and a charter school, and he's got a degree in architectural drafting. Oh. I like the Ice Cube.
Yeah, he's
and I love the interviews with him. I like
especially with Tucker. Oh yeah,
he's got a great point of view on a lot of stuff, and I've always so now I understand why.
Yes,
rapper Cam even called him out in a diss track, saying, "You ain't never gangbanged in your life." Okay, same thing with Kid Rock, not straight out of the trailer. His parents were rich, and he grew up on an estate in suburban Michigan that had a guest house, apple orchard, horse stables, and private tennis courts.
Very nice.
Drake.
So the lake was his lake.
Yes. Drake. We all knew this. Drake's fake.
Oh,
he likes to say he started from the bottom, but no.
Now we're here.
He grew up very wealthy. In fact, he was a kid TV star on Degrassi.
Oh,
my daughter
right.
was watching that all the time. He was the one in the wheelchair. He got shot. Yes.
Okay.
Drake. Still, he claims but Canadian TV didn't pay very much. And we were like almost broke.
Almost broke.
Yeah.
Pretty near.
Okay. Word. In her song, I Bet You Think About Me, Taylor Swift sings, oh my God, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Oh boy, we have to run this caveat.
Good morning. Yes. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
Okay.
Yes.
In her song, I Bet You Think About Me, she sings, you grew up in a Silver Spoon gated community, glamorous, shiny, bright Beverly Hills. I was raised on a farm. No, it wasn't a mansion, just living room dancing and kitchen table bills. What she neglects to mention is that it was a 15-acre farm that was ran as a hobby by her father, who was a Merrill Lynch financial advisor.
So there's that.
No.
Yes.
No. Not pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, they weren't.
Like the Peaky Blinders.
That's just one more thing that makes him even more mad.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I am hotter than a bare butt on a tin roof in August.
Have you seen the heat index? Oh, no, I gotta wait, don't I?
Hey, you're in my seat.
I know.
Yeah, sorry. No, you're right here. You're right here.
You're right.
Joe.
Over
You're right
there,
here.
over
You're right
there,
here.
over there.
Right there.
Yes.
I'd like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure we'll
play it later.
We'll put his end of the world for next hour.
It's
here.
fine. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe from the show, Tiseo.
Oh yes.
Don the headphones there, sir.
Where's my intro music?
Huh? I don't. Oh, intro music. Let me see what we have.
Microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Tiseo.
What is that?
It was the quickest thing I could find. What do you want?
God, what kind of intro was that? That was weak, Ken. Come on, you promised me like a really good intro today.
I'm sorry. Don't know what to tell you.
Unbelievable. You know, I was listening to the show on the way in. Are we on the air?
We are on the air. Yes, we are on the air.
So I'm listening to the show on the way in. You had that guy Jim from CBD.
Yeah.
Does he sell that stuff by the gallon?
Stuff works.
It's
the stuff he gets there is certified by the state of Florida, THC free. You're not going to get high. You're not going to fail a urinalysis or nothing.
Well, it's campaign season, right?
Yeah.
I'm going crazy right now, so I don't know if I can ingest that stuff.
yeah, really.
But anyway, thanks for having me on this morning. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Yeah.
No problem. So, how's the campaign going?
It's going great, actually. It really is. Obviously the landscape, the political landscape is kind of settled. Now the qualifying is over, so we know the field, and it's go time now.
So
August 20th.
you're going to have a competition in the primary as well as the general.
Yeah, there was a write-in that came in, I think, about a half an hour before qualifying closed, and he got his name in, so it closed essentially closed the primary to Republicans only. So really, my race will be over August 20th, essentially.
Okay.
I can't imagine anybody's going to lose to a write-in, in the general election.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and as you know, a bunch of races were settled.
Yeah,
and
pretty
so,
much.
Yeah, so I know Ken Doherty on the commission. He ended up being unopposed. He had a few people running against him, and they did not qualify. Vicky Potts, tax collector, she's
Roger
in.
Eaton,
Roger Eaton, Paul Polk.
Vicky Potts that's
Yeah.
it's just like
she's a fixture over there.
It's like what? Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, she's a fixture. Yeah. Well, she did.
It's
she does a good job
Is
taking
she
your
an
money.
animatronic? She's been there forever.
The name's engraved on the door now. It's not a placard anymore.
Well, she does a good job taking your money.
Yes.
People keep sending her back. Take more, please.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so that some of those races got settled out, and as you know, it's go time now. You're going to see a lot of political signs start popping up. Typically, you have 45 days before the election. You're allowed to put them up, so that puts it about the first week of July. So you're going to see things, going into full swing, here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on the show. I know you offered all the candidates an opportunity to come and speak
If they want.
Yeah, if they want, and just for the record,
I don't chase them down.
Yeah, just yeah.
They've all been offered. If they want to take advantage of it, they can. They don't have to.
Yeah, and just for the record, my opponent was offered an opportunity to come in today with me and speak, and he declined the opportunity. So I just wanted to make sure that the listeners know that when you're a candidate, I know in 2016 when I ran, you were here. I took every opportunity to get my word out.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. I went to every venue, every speaking engagement. I did not turn down any opportunity to connect with voters and get my message out.
True.
And I think that speaks to your willingness to, to transparency. People have a right to ask questions, and you should be getting that message out. You need to earn the vote. But my opponent only goes to friendly venues. There's a reason he's not here. He doesn't want to be challenged.
Come on,
and
Ken's friendly.
Yeah, no. Well, look, I go
to candidates. I am.
Yes, you are.
Come on.
You are definitely.
Dude, I've had how many candidates? I've had 2 candidates on this week prior to Joe. Was I anything other than nice?
You've been very friendly.
No, you've always run a really good candidate form. You essentially just ask basic questions and let the candidates go for it.
Yeah, I'm a different Kenny.
Yeah,
right.
A little switch.
Well, I know when I was a candidate, I didn't turn down an opportunity to speak, and as an elected official, I've never turned down an opportunity to speak, regardless of venue. And I'll give you an example. During this campaign season, my opponent is a member of the Republican Liberty Caucus, and they invited incumbents to speak. And I think I'm the only incumbent that actually went and spoke. Now, I went into a venue that I knew was an organization he founded. It was his people, his supporters, all of them. But I went anyway because I'm a candidate. Plus, I'm a commissioner. I'm a public servant. Everybody pays taxes. I serve everybody in the community regardless. So
it was like going into Omaha Beach, I tell you.
Oh, listen. I was ready. I was ready. But the point is I had an hour slot to speak and get my message out, and I did. I took not only an hour, I got an extra half an hour. Danny Nix was there speaking. He gave me a half an hour of his time. I went an hour and a half and answered every single question that they had. I stayed another hour and a half until they kicked us out of the Moose Lodge till after 10 o'clock, and then I stayed in the parking lot and still spoke. So, you have to be prepared as a candidate to go to any venue, because when you're an elected official, you're not getting friendly fire all the time. You're taking the tough questions, and it speaks to, how he would be as a commissioner. If he's not willing as a candidate to come on a radio show, give his stump speech, take some questions, get challenged, how is he going to be a commissioner? That speaks volumes. It really does. And
which also begs the question, why the hell are you doing this again?
Well, one of the things I've come to learn is, giving back to the community in different ways. And, as you know, back in 2016, I actually volunteered my way into the commission job. I was on a landscape committee. That's how we met,
That's true. That's how we met.
Yeah, I came here on the show to do a landscape update, believe it or not. It was like every other month or something, and I just showed up as one of the members of the committee. And
you got on the news. You're out mowing lawns.
Yeah, I'm out mowing. I heard you got a lawnmower. I heard
I did. I got a new lawnmower.
Gas or electric?
Oh, gas,
Okay,
dude. I don't know. Kenny ain't playing with that electric
I was going to ask.
No way. One wet swale drop.
Yeah.
And you're fried. Yeah. The electric chair.
Yeah. No thanks.
But, so I ended up, just volunteering, and then that led to volunteering on the MPOAC. It's a Metropolitan Planning Organization Advisory, Citizens Advisory. Then there was an opening for a Board of Zoning Appeals board member opening there. So I sent my resume in, got appointed to that. So it was a series over a number of years of doing volunteer work. And then the door kind of opened to the commission race, and I kind of stepped through and put my name into the ring. Now, I never ran before in 2016. I had 4 kids in the public school system. I had a business that took me to 2 different counties, Lee and Charlotte County. I was very busy. But the opportunity to kind of, parlay 35 years of business experience in matters that come before the board. If you think about things that come before the board, contracts, agreements, infrastructure, land planning, zoning, site plans, engineering, those things are in my wheelhouse. I grew up in that. I was a licensed realtor when I was in college. I got my license in between classes in 1987. By the time I was 26 years old, I had my Class A general contractor's license, and I founded my own construction company. And I got into some residential spec building, and then got into commercial retail, and I ended up sticking with commercial retail for the next 35 years. And why is that experience important? It wasn't me and 10 staff members helping me. It was just me, and I had a bookkeeper. So, I had to do land acquisition, finance. I put together all the pro formas. I did all the permitting, handled all the regulatory agencies, performed every single bit of due diligence that was required to pull off multi-million-dollar projects. And it wasn't somebody else's money. It was my investment. I signed personally on tens of millions of dollars of commercial notes at a very young age. I grew up in that, doing due diligence, because if I failed to do the research and perform the correct due diligence, it was out of my pocket.
So that experience has definitely helped you in what you're doing now. We had a gentleman yesterday sitting across from me who suggests that the staff can, you don't have to really know anything about that stuff. The staff can bring you up to speed on that. It doesn't matter. Your experience outside doesn't matter.
No, I mean, look, you can be staff-driven. So, I just got back from the dentist, by the way, so if I'm slurring.
Are you really? I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell you. That's where
I'd be drooling.
Yeah, I know, right? So, look, you can be an elected official that's staff-driven, and you can just show up and kind of just listen to staff and take their guidance, and you don't question them. I'm not that way. I respect professional staff. I respect the consultants. But, it's like a 3-pronged attack with me when I do in my decision-making process. I listen to the staff reports and the professional input from them, the consultant report, and I perform my own due diligence. And then, of course, there's public input. Those are kind of the components to the decision-making process as an elected official. At least that's what I do. If you're missing one of those legs of the process, you're not going to have the best decision that you can have. You are going to be driven by others. So, what you don't see is, the staff meetings that I have. A lot of people think, they meet twice a month. They just show up and vote. They don't look at anything. No. I'm doing my homework in between staff meetings, phone calls, research, reading. And people say, well, you always vote lockstep with the other commissioners. That's because in the weeks and months prior, all my questions that I would have had on the dais had been answered. So what you see on the dais when the agenda is finally posted is a clean version of all the work we've done to get to that point. If there's any outstanding issues left, that's when we start going at it on the dais and we have that dialogue. But we're working in between those meetings at all times to scrub the agenda. Then we have pre-agenda meetings on the Thursday before the meeting. That's like a last-ditch effort where all the commissioners show up, staff is there, they go over the agenda again for any outstanding issues or comments that were either unresolved or new comments that came in at the last minute to be addressed. So, we're always working, towards that, because when we have the meetings, it's not necessarily just to vote no to vote no. We have to keep the ball rolling and get things done. You don't do that with no votes. So when we vote yes, it's because we're advancing a policy. We're doing, budget adjustments. We're providing services, infrastructure. Those things need to keep moving. And, so we don't want gridlock. We don't want to be like Washington, D.C., but we are working to
sometimes gridlock can be good for the taxpayer.
No, absolutely. No, and I'll give you an example. Wastewater treatment plant was on the agenda last year. We had a $75 million budget for the Burnt Store plant. With inflation, we bumped it to $100 million. The low bid came in at $176 million.
Ugh.
We killed it. We had a board discussion. I'm like, that's untenable. We cannot pass those kind of rates on to the ratepayers. It's unreasonable. So we told staff, it's over. Go back to the drawing board. We're going to have to figure out a way to do a phased approach that's more affordable. So, stuff like that we do. But, we still have to keep the ball rolling.
Sure.
And, when we talk about experience, it's I don't need somebody looking over my shoulder to tell me what I'm reading. I can read a contract. I can read an agreement. And if Jeanette Knowlton, our county attorney, was here, she will tell you in between meetings, I'm calling her. I'm like, hey, I read this. I want to see this. Give me your advice, but give me the statute. Because I love going through the statutes and reading it. And I want to see if what we're doing is consistent with the statute and what the county attorney is telling me. That's how deep I go on this stuff. I mean, that stuff's my wheelhouse. And it's the experience that my opponent does not have. At a recent Liberty Caucus candidate event, it's on video, he said if he's elected, he's going to have to find people to help him read the budget and go through the budget. He admitted that. He went further later on in the meeting. He says he's going to draft people that know about government and economics to help him.
I'm a dope, and I can read a budget.
Yeah, no, but I'm serious. He's running for county commissioner, and he's saying he's going to have to find people to help him read the budget. These are his words. I have to draft people that know about government and economics to help me. Who are these people?
Volunteers.
We're not electing.
Go to the chamber.
Look, when you make decisions, it's not by committee. When it's a lonely place on the dais, you either know what you're doing or you don't. Yeah. And when your lips start moving, the first people who are going to know you don't know what you're talking about are your 4 colleagues, staff members, and the consultants.
Yeah, you can't have 3 people right behind you when you're speaking, whispering in your ear what to say before you say it.
Isn't that what you told me? Yeah, that's what he said. No, you said? Okay, yeah, he said it over here.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, what is it, a star chamber? Like, who's telling him how to vote and what he's reading?
It's a committee.
It's an amazing admission that he doesn't know what he's doing. He literally needs to find people to help him make a decision. So who's pulling his strings? The public should know. Who are these people you're going to draft? So when it gets to land use, are you going to draft a land use attorney? Are you going to draft a civil engineer to tell you what you're looking at? That's a second round of the draft. Come on. I'm just saying it's unconscionable that you would have to, as a candidate who claims he's been following government for 10 years, right, has to find people to help him read the budget. As a voter, does that make you feel all warm and fuzzy?
But haven't I read, I'm pretty sure I've read where your opponent has claimed that you guys are spending way too much.
Yeah, well, first of all, we'll get to that.
How would he know?
Yeah, exactly, because he can't read the budget. So look, while he's busy finding and drafting people, right, I'm reading, I'm questioning, I'm voting. Okay, that's a big difference right there. So he was at another forum, and this was interesting. I wasn't invited. I'm not invited to any of the forums that he goes to.
None of the incumbents seem to be, and they're all Republican, which is really weird because these are supposed to be Republican
events. One big fun, club, right?
But I guess it's those Republicans and then you Republicans. Yeah. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So he picks and chooses where he speaks, and for the reason he won't come on the show, if he doesn't perceive it as a friendly venue, he doesn't go, right? So he goes to these forums where I'm not invited, but I go anyway. Why? Because I'm a candidate. I love to learn. I love to absorb everything that people are saying. So he had a forum in South Gulf Cove, and this is really interesting. Again, for a candidate, he says he's been following government for 10 years. A voter came up and asked him about why the signalization wasn't in at Sunseeker and that the county had screwed up royally and didn't put the light in. That's such low-hanging fruit. The first thing he should have told the voter was,
it's a dot.
It's an FDOT road. It's a state road, not a county road. He answered the question as if it was a county road. He didn't know enough to tell him it was a state road.
US 41 didn't
didn't
ring a bell.
I was stunned. I'm like, you would think anybody off the street would know that, but especially a candidate who's running for county commission cannot distinguish between a state and county road. We talk about it all the time. If he was following government, he would know. I'm on the MPO board, Metropolitan Planning Organization. We've talked about that signal and FDOT's response
by the way,
for months.
what is the deal with that signal? Because I never really had. I hear everybody complaining
saying,
about it.
There's going to be so much traffic.
I've never had
no
it. Even
issues.
in season, I never had really
unless
an
you're
issue.
trying to turn from Punta Gorda into Sunseeker.
Well,
but even
I can
that,
see that.
Yeah.
No, so apparently FDOT did not warrant one at the time of permitting, but Sunseeker elected to put one in, so they pulled the permit through FDOT, and they're going to fund it and put it in. So that's in progress.
Oh,
so it's being done.
Good.
It's being paid for by Sunseeker.
It's being done for free.
For free. Well,
good for them.
So it gets even better. The same gentleman said, "Why isn't 776 6-laned? What's going on? The traffic, this and that." Another state road. He still didn't know enough to tell him that State Road 776 was a state road. He answered it as if it was a county road. Then he had a question about drainage. He didn't even answer that question. So when the gentleman was done, he sat back down, and a woman from the audience who was there's about a dozen people there from the public, said, "Hey, you never answered his question about the drainage." So it's unfathomable that he would not tell the voter that those two roads are FDOT roads. I felt so bad. I got the guy's name. I had written it down. I Googled it when I got home. I had to call him. I felt so bad for him. I called and spent 35 minutes, said, "Look, I'm your county commissioner. I was there in the room. I heard you had questions. You got no answers. I apologize for that. You've got me now. We'll take as much time as you need." And we spent 35 minutes. I explained the status of the roads. I gave him an FDOT update on the corridor study for State Road 776. They're going to be doing some improvements in front of the stadium. It's in their 5-year work plan. Instead of that single left turn, they're going to do double turn lanes into the stadium to get more traffic off the road. They're going to do a right turn lane if you're coming from the west so you can stack off the road to keep flow better. That's in their 5-year work plan. My opponent should have known that. It's an update every other month at MPO meeting, but he doesn't watch the meetings. It's just rhetoric and pandering is essentially what he's running on. And he's not here today because I would dismantle him. And he knows that. So that's why he's not here.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back on News Radio 1580.
An audio engineer knows which gear there is.
You need to run your source through the DNS 1500 first.
This always did feel like one of those shows that would go for a while.
We'll be right back with Charlotte County Speaks on News Radio 1580 WCCF.
You guys made a vision board, you know what that is? You cut out pictures from magazines that resonate with you, that you feel good about. You paste them on a piece of poster board. I've made 4, and then I have a portable one, just for when I travel. I've laminated it, put a key ring on it, pretty sweet. And, it's intense! And I didn't believe in it, and I made the first one, and I put a microwave on it, and my sister walked by, and she said, "You want a freaking microwave?" I was pathetic. "I'll get you a microwave." Boom! Manifested!
Just put it out there. Just put it out there.
So I was thinking about having kids. I got the names picked out. They're going to be Donut and the Golden Hen. I know what you're saying. How do you know they're going to be girls?
But a mother knows. Oh, a mother knows.
She's hilarious. Maria Bamford.
Did you see that Tom Brady Netflix roast?
Oh yeah, loved it. I forget her name. Her and Maria Bamford are my favorite comedians right now. Female comedians.
Yeah. I never heard of that lady until I saw the roast.
Yeah,
I forgot her name.
I'd seen her. Glazer.
Yeah,
Glazer.
Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer. Yeah. We've had some bits of hers before. She's very funny, but that
it was outrageous.
She just slayed.
Yeah,
man. She killed. Chet Atkins killing on Yakety Axe right here.
Yes, loving on this day in 1924. Chet Atkins was born. 1960 UK number 46 single Teensville recorded over 100 albums during his career. Major influence on George Harrison and Mark Knopfler.
Yeah, all that work, all that body of work. We got 4 Christmas songs in here and this.
And he died on June 30th, 2001.
Hey, this could be my intro music.
Yeah, there you go.
I can use this on the stump. When I come in, hey! And here's Commissioner Joe Tiseo. Come in with my banjo and straw hat.
Exactly.
He ain't Italian, he's redneck like us.
That's if I ever run into DeSoto County for something.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. Kick up the music, put on the boots. I'll pull a Danny Nix. He's running for state rep. He's always got the cowboy boots on.
Well, you have to. You got to. When you work in the district out
Yeah.
there, you got
You
your
got it.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Agriculture. You better have a pair of scuffed Justins.
And if you don't have
make it look real.
If you don't have a cow patty under your boot, you're not getting in. You're out.
It's stuck right there in the wedge.
It's got to be wet. Yeah, it's got to be wedged and they're dried on
Yeah,
hard. You need a chisel to get it off.
Yes, exactly.
That's a real sign.
Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Been working on a ranch.
Yes. Now give me your vote. Look at my shoes. Look at my patty.
So what else is going on, Joe?
So listen. So look, I just wanted to stay on subject in regards to experience and how important it is for the job and the work ethic it takes to be a good public servant. You know, when I ran in 2016, you had a choice to get qualified. You could either qualify by getting petitions, the right amount of petition signatures from the voting public, or you can pay a filing fee. Both are perfectly fine. I chose in 2016 because I was new to do the petition method. And I focused, even with my kids in school.
Because get your name out there.
Get your name out. Yeah, get your name out. Meet the people. Because I was new, and I felt that was the proper way at that time to do it. So I chose the petition method. So with all my businesses, with my kids in school, everything else, I just zeroed in. It's about organizational ability to get things done. And I decided 11 to 1 was my go time. So practically every day I went door knocking or I went to public buildings, just stood out there. I had 2 clipboards. I was like a machine gun. Boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't let people get by. You know, I'm running after people with my clipboard.
Signs a card!
Yeah.
Signs a card!
So, yeah. And then you get talkers. Which, you know, I don't mind talking, but I'm watching signatures walk by me while I'm talking. And then they're talking about the garbage pickups.
What are you going to do? What do you think about?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get signatures. But I worked that, you know, for months to get my signatures. So I established a goal, made a commitment, and I got it done well in advance of qualifying. And I would turn them in batches. So I would turn them in to get reviewed by the supervisor election, so I knew where I was at all times on what I needed for signatures. So
about how many get rejected?
At the time, I think it was a 10 to 20% rejection rate.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so
about that seems to be, from what I've heard, is average. We got a call here. We only got a few minutes left here in this hour. Hi, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hello.
Simple question. In the way that the commissioner uses support staff and consultations, does he also provide that to, like, our area or state representatives as well? Does it reciprocate with them?
Yes.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so the county staff works with the county commissioners. The state rep, I guess they'd have their own staff. They don't use our staff. They're independent of us.
But do they work with each other? Is there any communication?
Absolutely. Our staff always works with the state and federal level, their counterparts, to get things done. If we have a policy issue, maybe a grant, appropriations, absolutely. We meet with our delegation every January, our state delegation, and we work with Greg Stubbe, our congressman, and our senator. So absolutely, we have open lines of communication. We have a legislative manager that works with the legislative counterparts at the state,
lobbyist
federal,
as well?
Lobbyist, absolutely. Oh, yeah, we work all the time. But our county attorney doesn't work, let's say, for the state representative.
Yeah, sure. He's only doing your work.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're only
She's
doing our work. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we communicate. That's part of the job.
Okay, good information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
206-1580, toll free, 888-441-1580.
But the reason I bring that up is because my opponent is kind of in the same shoes I was back in 2016. He's new to campaigning. He also chose the signature method. He couldn't get it done. He waited until the second to last and last day to do like a petition card drop and didn't get it done. So he failed at a task that he gave himself. And it's not a hard task. If you focus, you organize yourself and get things done. If he can't even give himself a task and complete it, how is he going to represent you and be a commissioner for you if he gets elected? That should speak volumes about his work ethic. He could not get it done. That's an epic failure that I cannot even describe because I was a candidate. I was in his shoes. You can't get signatures. You chose that method.
Lots of others did.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you choose it and can't get it done, it begs the question, what were you doing for 5 months? He clearly wasn't doing the job he gave himself. So if he can't do the job he gave himself, why should you give him the job to be your county commissioner? That's what I'm saying. People need to know that because you have to do the work, you have to earn it, and when you get there, you have to work even harder. I'm like a sponge. I'm everywhere. When I was a candidate, I went to every meeting.
Isn't that more like a virus?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm like a bad rash.
There you go.
I'm like, no, as a candidate, I was. I mean,
You were soaking up all the knowledge.
You have to.
You do.
Because when you're a commissioner, your head's on a swivel. You're like that gentleman just asked a question. You have to know rapid fire. One of my biggest fears that drove me in 2016 was not knowing enough. And it drives me still today. I'm on different committee assignments. I'm on the Water Authority now. I'm on the MPO. You have to know that stuff because when you're on those committees and have a seat at the table, if you don't know, how can you serve your constituents better? The more I know, the better I am, the better I serve you. That's the bottom line. But that drove me because, it was always my fear of just not knowing enough. So whenever I go to these venues, I call it like Stump the Commissioner. I'm like, try to stump me. It's kind of like a game. And I go around and do the questions. When I was at my opponent's forum, I nailed every question. I had a coherent answer that made sense. When my opponent answers questions, it's all rhetoric and pandering. There's no detail attached. I would just tear him apart on cross-examination. He talks about spending. He picked a period of time between 2018 and 2023. Our budget did go up from $745 million to $1.145 billion. That's because it's loaded with infrastructure. That's what we do, right? It's all the 2014 sales tax. It's all the 2020 sales tax. There's hundreds of millions that are in there. Because we do a 2-year budget cycle, $60 million is dropping off the budget next year because those are non-reoccurring costs. So that's okay. We got a break. We got a hard break.
It's time for a fake news radio update. We'll be back.
Okay.
WCCF Punta Gorda.
News Radio 1580.
Charlotte County's only news talk radio station, serving you around the clock.